हेलो गाइज, इट्स निक और मेरे चैनल पर आपका स्वागत है in another video। आज का वीडियो चीज़ों के बारे में है जो इंडियंस ने मुझे सिखाई, जो मेरे अपने देश ने ही सिखाए। हाँ, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये वीडियो इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक के बारे में है, क्योंकि मैं सोच रही थी चीज़ों के बारे में जो Indians, but मतलब like India से सीख रही हूँ, मतलब like the things I am learning from Indians, from India, and things that अगर मैं इंडिया में रहती नहीं हूँ शायद मुझे कभी नहीं पता है। Okay, that Hindi was not correct. शायद मैं कभी नहीं जान पाऊंगी, ये सही है। Anyway, मतलब I would never know is what I'm trying to say। तो मैं बहुत cozy हूँ, मैं ब्लैंकेट में हूँ और कॉफ़ी के साथ, और एक्चुअली अभी दोपहर में है तो ठंड नहीं है, लेकिन I felt like getting cozy anyway, and ये ब्लैंकेट बहुत सॉफ्ट है, I just love it। Okay, तो चलो let's get into it। तो पहली बात, adjust कर लो, adjust कर लो, adjust कर लो, adjust कर लो। मैं ये फ्रेज हमेशा सुन रही हूँ। इनिशियली मैं सोच रही थी कि okay, like ये क्या है, like what, adjust कर लो, like just adjust। लेकिन I realized actually ये बहुत ये अच्छा outlook है ना? And I realized it's very similar to a phrase that I always say and love, which is be adaptable। हिंदी में adaptable मतलब
अनुकूलनीय बने।
अनुकूलनीय बने। I've never heard that word in my life. Anyway, I think people here would just say adaptable। हाँ, तो अगर आप adaptable इंसान हैं तो फिर जीवन या जिंदगी सबसे आसान है आपके लिए, क्योंकि अगर आप rigid इंसान हो, life will be much more difficult। And मैं कहती हूँ सिर्फ, मतलब आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिस जस्ट बिकॉज मैं इंडिया में रहती हूँ, लेकिन नो मैटर वेयर यू आर दुनिया में, ये बहुत अच्छा एडवाइस है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे situations या challenges ज़िंदगी में you will need to be adaptable, and the phrase adjust कर लो is kind of same ना, like just adjust, like you'll adjust। और मेरे लिए ये phrase बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि अब मैं इंडिया में रहती हूँ और हाँ, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, लेकिन हर दिन आसान नहीं है। कुछ दिन मुश्किल है, कुछ टास्क्स मुश्किल है अगर मैं अकेली करना पड़ेगी, मतलब if I have to do them alone। कभी कभी मुश्किल है, और obviously क्योंकि मैं दूसरा देश से हैं तो कुछ चीज़ों बहुत अलग है, और no matter how much मुझे इंडिया बहुत पसंद है, कुछ चीज़ों मुश्किल हैं। And this is applicable obviously if you have moved to any country, like it's not just applicable, I mean, for coming to India, anywhere, if you are from somewhere and you move somewhere। And I always felt like मैं बहुत adaptable इंसान हूँ, and yes, I am। Indians have a way of creating solutions for everything, like it's kind of, this is kind of similar to like jugaad। I love that, because no matter if it's an item that is broken, needs fixing, or a situation that needs a solution or anything, Indians always have a solution for everything you think is not possible, India में बहुत possible है। I love this about Indian mentality। तो ये बहुत खास है, और क्योंकि मेरे देश में अगर आपके पास एक खराब item, let's say you have an item that's broken or something, ज़्यादातर just नया item खरीद सकते हैं। Obviously depends on what kind of item, or like अगर ये महंगा या नहीं, लेकिन we don't have a culture of fixing broken things very much, or adjusting even, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोगों दुनिया में, सिर्फ मेरे देश में नहीं, दुनिया में बहुत rigid in their way of thinking, and ये actually जैसे prison है, शायद is the correct word, नहीं पता, जैसे ऐसा मुझे सीखना चाहिए। India is so great for having this mentality, because once you go outside of India, and क्योंकि obviously मुझे पता है क्योंकि मैं western देश से हूँ, लेकिन you realize that ये बहुत normal है। People are very stuck in their ways, and maybe it's not a bad thing to be stuck in your way, but I think it makes life much more difficult and going on now। लेकिन adjust कर लो बहुत अच्छा phrase है, and I feel like even जब मैं आयरलैंड में थी you know, still ये phrase important है. शायद I just used to say adaptable, be adaptable, be adaptable. लेकिन इंडिया में adjust कर लो तो same है. Like, I just really love this about the Indian way of thinking. And again, Jugad, kind of same thing, like just being able to find a solution for everything. Just about seeing opportunity and positivity basically in things that maybe you didn't before or thought you couldn't, that there's no solution. Indians know there's always a solution. Sorry, this camera is moving so much. तो दूसरी बात community, क्योंकि मेरे देश में community बहुत कम है. Sense of community बहुत कम है, I should say, especially आजकल, क्योंकि past में सब देशों में past में community बहुत prominent थे ना, in every country I think, in history. लेकिन समय के बाद सब लोगों like ज़्यादा independent हो रहे हैं और बहुत सारे factors actually, मुझे लगता है बहुत सारे factors क्यों society independent हो रहा है. Capitalism, हर दिन सब लोगों like rush करते हैं, you know, जिंदगी में, like trying to just survive और पैसा earn कोशिश करते हैं. तो सब लोगों rat race में हैं क्योंकि there is no other option. You know, if you want to survive, you have to do these things and be this way. And बहुत मुश्किल है क्योंकि as humans, we are not meant to be constantly exerted, isolated, alone. For example, जब एक couple परिवार शुरू करते हैं, बहुत normal नहीं है जब हिंदी में बहुत मुश्किल है. It's not normal to raise a child with literally just yourself and be working, you know. तो modern times बहुत मुश्किल है. We are just thinking it is more difficult nowadays, लेकिन we also have बहुत सारे resources available है कि past में possible नहीं था. तो I'm not too sure on what's correct, what's not. लेकिन, you know, there's that phrase like it takes a village to raise a child, and nowadays people are raising children just completely alone. Literally that. The village helped raise a child. And India में ये still हो रहा है, especially rural areas में और you know, joint family system में ज़्यादा आसान है क्योंकि, you know, सब लोगों आसपास है, पड़ोसी और, you know, parivar, you know, you have your family living next door or nearby or other children. So the responsibility is not just on you for 24/7, 365 days. And this is just an example of how क्यों community बहुत ज़रूरी है. And बहुत सारे दूसरे कारण क्यों community so important. लेकिन इंडिया में community still बहुत present है. It's not like the West. Nah, in the West, everyone's becoming much more individualistic. I think there's so many factors to go into this. It's hard to put it all in this one video क्योंकि obviously society बहुत अलग है India में, West में, and there is good and bad to both, right? Like India has less freedom or less freedom of thinking क्योंकि society important है, लोग कहते हैं क्या, तो there is much more importance on this stuff. And मेरे लिए ये अच्छा नहीं है, ये thinking अच्छा नहीं है, लेकिन at the same time has so much positives because you have community. हमेशा लोगों के साथ old age में, you know, जब लोगों पुराना है, दूसरे लोगों आसपास है, तो West में बहुत अलग है, you know. It's just very different and both have like pros and cons. India has definitely taught me the importance of community, and it's one of the things I just love. I love seeing it. You know, streets part, even like you see this sense of community, old men sitting around playing cards, such things though. And I think that if I hadn't have come to India ever, I probably would not have this idea in my mind of how important community is. It's definitely a very nice, beautiful thing that India still very much values, which I feel like the rest of the world kind of is losing, at least the Western world. I think in the Eastern part of the world it is in general different. I feel like it's just one of those things that the West has like lost touch with. आजकल बहुत normal है Ireland में जो हम अपने पड़ोसियों को नहीं जानते, काफी उदास हैं. We don't know the people living next door to us even. Western countries में बहुत normal है that you don't know anyone around you living around you. तो ये sense of community बहुत calm hai, and definitely just something to take with me now through life to try and remember it more. Kyunki by nature mein बहुत independent individual इंसान हूँ and I need to remember कि ज़िंदगी में बहुत ज़रूरी है कि मेरे पास community around me. मतलब you know it's important to build that. लेकिन जब मैं आयरलैंड में थी मैं कभी ये idea नहीं सोचा. You know, I never was really thinking much about it. Just hamesha, I, me. Like, just focused on my own things. And mushkil hai to change your idea of what community is and, you know, lifestyle. Lekin I want to be more focused on community, I would say. तो तीसरी बात, इंडिया में सब कुछ मनाया जाता है मतलब everything is celebrated, even just small things, or obviously बहुत सारे festivals इंडिया में होता है, तो ये बहुत खास है और it kind of teaches you there is so much to celebrate in life. In the West, I feel like people don't really celebrate that much. Obviously, हमारे पास festivals है और हम कुछ milestones मनाते हैं, मतलब अगर घर खरीदना और if you have a baby और कुछ चीज़ों हाँ मनाते हैं. लेकिन इंडिया में almost every other day there is something to celebrate. Even jab nayi gaadi khareedte hain, you get a garland and you put a swastika on the bike and such rituals. And West mein agar aap nayi gaadi khareedte hain, no one is saying like, oh my god, congratulations, and making such a thing as if it's like you've just bought a house. I don't think anyway. I haven't seen, like in India mein even such thing, everyone is like, oh congratulations, wow, congratulations. So you know, it's seen as like a milestone and like kyun nahi, like it should be. And even for birthdays, India mein midnight birthday cake dete hain, midnight on your birthday, and ye bahut khas hai kyunki birthdays in general, like I mean everyone has different perspectives. Some people find birthdays very special, other people are just like whatever. Like in India mein your friends will at midnight like get you a cake and do all this, and it seems like a small thing, but मेरे लिए ये बहुत अलग है क्योंकि West में like you might have a party or something, like, and for your friends to like come to your house at midnight or wherever and like actually do that, stay up late to do that for you for your birthday, ये बहुत like selfless है ना. And again, like मुझे लगता है कि Western देशों में ये होता ही नहीं. So I feel like in India so much is celebrated that in the West we really need to like take from that, like celebrate the small wins, celebrate the small things. Why not? Okay, I'm back cozy. And the next thing is finding joy amidst chaos. Hindi mein bahut mushkil hai, so I'm not even going to try say this one in Hindi or anything. In India, you really learn that no matter what's going on around you, you could be on the busiest street ever, but I can still be perfectly happy and content and not feel overstimulated or anything, which I think I think foreigners that come to India, that's one thing people find very overwhelming. The streets, the noise, the chaos, the traffic. Obviously, there's a lot of rural areas as well, which unfortunately I think a lot of foreigners don't get to go to. Major cities में tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, obviously बहुत busy हैं. I feel like in India, you just learn to just tune that out. I don't really know how it happens, but busy streets are the perfect place to practice your mindfulness because there could be so much noise going on around you, but it teaches you patience. It teaches you like to regulate your emotions. You know, if you're having a bad day or you're not feeling good, if you're already feeling annoyed maybe about something or irritable, then that environment can be really triggering because you're like, oh, like everything's just so annoying. But it's so good for your patience and so good to teach you that it doesn't matter what's going on out here. All that matters is what's going on in here. And if you can control what's going on in here, then everything external will not affect you. Kyunki, what I've realized about living in India, a lot of things don't go to plan. It's really difficult to like plan things very well in India because anything can happen, and I don't know how to explain it to other people. You can plan to go somewhere and then you get there and it's not at all what you expected, or such things just happen all the time. I don't know why, but it does. Still being able to find joy, because I'm a very type A person. I love planning, I love being organized. I plan out everything to a T. My day is planned out to a T in timings of what I'm going to do. So India doesn't really allow for that very easily. And I've had to really learn that. Basically, it's about just being more easygoing, being more go with the flow, even if things don't go how perfectly or how you thought, being able to still enjoy and be happy and finding joy in chaos. That's what we all need to learn from India. It's also like so not important. Like, who cares? Like, we're just literally on a ball of rock floating around in space. So, okay, तो आखिरी बात, food as a love language. India में खाना बहुत बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है एंड ये बहुत अलग है मेरे लिए एंड ये कंट्री स्पेसिफिक नहीं है क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली बहुत सारे देशों खाना बहुत ज़रूरी है यूरोप भी में इटली स्पेन फ्रांस कुजीन्स बहुत बहुत प्रोमिनेंट है मैं आयरलैंड से हूँ तो आयरलैंड में food culture काफ़ी अलग है क्योंकि we don't have a fixed cuisine. We have taken from American foods, British foods. We eat all kinds of cuisines, from all over the world. And a lot of people do love food in Ireland. Yeah, this is probably more specific to me and शायद बचपन से मेरे परिवार से लेकिन बचपन से खाना बहुत ज़रूरी नहीं थी हमारा घर में food was never really that important मतलब I never saw my parents spend like hours and hours cooking for each meal like, मेरे माता पिता बहुत busy थे मतलब like बहुत कम कर रहे थे तो पैसा के लिए तो obviously and ये बहुत normal है western देशों में क्योंकि दोनों parents usually have to work in Western countries क्योंकि बहुत cost of living बहुत महंगा है और India में obviously a lot of people also like both work in mother and father both work also in India लेकिन rural जगह में ज़्यादातर still the woman stays at home and the man works तो सिर्फ एक income like a lot of people are only on one income and that's doable in India me and my partner are doing that now as well just on one income तो मेरे देश में ये possible नहीं है क्योंकि बहुत महंगा है rent mortgages cost of living just in general so there is less time to focus on food cooking मतलब अब मैं इंडिया में रहती हूँ and I realized like the importance of food for Indians food is literally a love language here it's literally an act of showing how much you love your family how much you love someone तो मेरे लिए बहुत नया concept है क्योंकि I never saw this बचपन से कभी नहीं देखा क्योंकि if you're just trying to like survive and earn good living then other things naturally become less important this is just such an amazing thing I have learned since living in India is how important food is and it is really important. It's not just important because it shows love. The ability to cook from scratch, to cook healthy food, how important that is for your mind and body. And I'm not sitting here saying that all Indian food is very healthy because eating sabzi roti every day is not the epitome of health, guys. That is just carbs and carbs. But I've said this in a couple of videos, but I have just enjoyed so much cooking in India. I have the time. मैं कम करती नहीं हूँ तो I have the time to cook, to spend time cooking. I've just grown such a liking for cooking, which if you knew me before now, you would be like, that's wild because I really never enjoyed cooking. It was always, मेरे लिए cooking बहुत bada chore thi, like something that you don't want to do, takes a lot of time, and now I just enjoy doing it so much. It's almost like a meditative activity for me. And also I've learned a lot from Utsav, like my partner as well, because he loves food, and I mean all Indians love food. I don't think there's any Indian on the planet who doesn't love food. And you just see, oh yeah, like food is really important and it feels good to eat from scratch. It feels good to not eat frozen foods or very packaged foods. Obviously, I do still eat some frozen and packaged foods. I'm not saying I don't. I do, but much less than I did jab main Ireland mein thi. So, I just feel like that's an amazing thing I've learned to love since living in India, which if I was still living in Ireland, I would never have grown this interest or love ever, like genuinely. And I think it's great because, you know, I hope mujhe umeed hai ki jab parivar shuru karenge, I will be making good foods, healthy foods. And I think that's an amazing skill to have, to learn, to know. Obviously, I did cook in Ireland, by the way. It's not like I just learned here, but the way of cooking is very different. Bahut alag hai. The way of cooking is very different in Ireland mein or India mein. But yeah, just food as a love language and the importance of food is something really I've learned here. I never ever would have learned that living in Ireland. Okay guys, so that is it for my video of things that India and Indians have taught me. मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ और हाँ, मुझे उम्मीद है कि that you enjoyed this video. अगले वीडियो से मिलेंगे and I will see you in the next one. देखने के लिए धन्यवाद. Bye.